Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Planescape Torment with me, BringItDon. We're going to talk to Kesai Saris. This alarmingly voluptuous woman has a thick mane of wavy, raven-colored hair, bluish skin, and shimmering crimson eyes, like rubies which have fires lit behind them. Though she is not beautiful in the typical sense of the word, her features are exotic and not altogether unattractive. Greetings. The woman's voice is deep and sensuous. And my greetings to you, sir. Her burning eyes roam over you. I'm Kesai Saris, so tell me, what might I do for you? Anything, Mort cries. Do anything you want to me. Kesai laughs heartily, revealing canines long enough to be considered fangs. She shakes her head and smiles at Mort. Truly though, please, what can I do for you? But what do you usually do for your patrons? Talk, of course. Usually about dreams, often those erotic in nature, but not always. Kesai winks at you, smiling. So, would you like to tell me yours? Don't be shy. I've heard everything, you know. Nothing will shock or surprise me, and I so love to hear people's dreams. We can trade if you'd like to, but you must go first. I don't have many dreams, really. For a long time I had none at all. None at all, really. Too peculiar. Even fiends and devas dream, you know. So what are these few dreams about, Kesai leans toward you, eager for a response. They're more nightmares than dreams. Visions of a black-barbed maze, a night hag named Ravel. Kesai remains silent for some time. Oh? Oh, nightmares. I see. That's a pity. It really is. Are you alright? You seem suddenly distraught. I'm fine. Just fine. Thank you, though. Kesai smiles at you. In that case, I had some questions. I wonder if she knows something about Ravel, because her demeanor changed when we mentioned Ravel. Kesai blinks her crimson eyes at you, awaiting your question. If you don't mind my asking, what are you? Kesai shakes her head. What, can't you tell? She draws herself up, thrusting her ample bosom towards you. A woman. She raises an eyebrow. I can see my answer doesn't please you. I'm plain touched, actually, like your friend here. Kesai indicates Anna. That's all you need to know. And what are you doing here? Entertaining your questions, it seems. She winks at you. Really, though, I am a student of Mistress Grace's. All the prostitutes in the brothel are. A student? What's that? That's right. The brothel is actually a school for women who are thinking of becoming sensates. Mistress Grace teaches us the ways of language so that we can better identify with ourselves and those around us. It lets us experience the planes more fully, you know? Well, tell me about the sensates. The Society of Sensation believes that the multiverse can only be understood by experiencing it. The more you experience, the closer you are to understanding the dark of the multiverse. Intriguing, huh? I think I was born to be one. I just want to know things. Can you tell me about this place? Certainly. The Brothel of Slaking Intellectual Lusts is actually a school for women who are thinking of becoming sensates. Mistress Grace teaches us the ways of language so that we can better identify with ourselves and those around us. It lets us experience the planes more fully, you know? Okay. I'm trying to find Vivian's scent. Do you know where it might be? No, I don't. Kesai frowns. Most of the women will say she's prissy, but she's always been nice enough to me, complimenting me on my eyes, and she smells so good. Hope she finds her own scent again soon. Try asking Denny about it. She's everywhere at once and might have seen something. I'm not gonna flirt with her. Anna got mad when I flirted with the other girl, so I'm not gonna flirt. I'm trying to find Marissa's Crimson Veil. Do you know where it might be?
Updated my journal.
No, I haven't seen it since the last time she wore it out, but Nenny might have seen something, so try asking her. I'll admit, it's been nice. Marissa won't leave her chamber without the veil, and so we've all been spared her foul tongue, leaving us only Kamaxi to deal with. Kesai smirks. Kamaxi's the worst of the two, though. How so? Marissa's haughty and mean, but Kamaxi, she's a bitter, spiteful monster of a woman, with a venomous tongue and the demeanor of a Baylor. Which is funny, because I think Baylors were originally called Balrogs, but due to the copyright claim on Tolkien's works, that had to be changed. Along with hobbits. I think in first edition Dungeons & Dragons, instead of halflings, they were hobbits. And then they changed to halflings for the same reason, and it's a nod to Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbit, who was hired into the adventuring party of the dwarves as a thief, and halflings are usually pretty good rogues and things of that nature. Anyway, I can't see why anyone would like to speak with her. I sincerely doubt her appearance makes up for that flaying, poisonous mouth of hers, but she receives patrons nonetheless. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? No, nothing. Are you sure? You seem suddenly upset. She narrows her red eyes at you. Of course I'm sure. Don't ask me of her again. She knows something about Ravel. I've spoken to 9 prostitutes altogether. Do you know who or where the 10th student is? The 10th? Kessa purses her lips, tapping her foot as she thinks. No, there's only 9 of us. There's always 9 prostitutes, unless Mistress Grace has made some recent changes I don't know about. Okay, and I decided, because I don't really care about my alignment in this game, I am going to do Juliet's quest. What's wrong, Juliet? No. Is life so tedious? Is the relationship lacking then? And then she talks about... I'm gonna disrupt her relationship. Alright, what did you have in mind, Juliet? This is where I left off last time. I'm not sure. Some element of danger or jealousy, something intense. Why don't you have an affair? Or why don't you make up some fake love letters from a hidden affair? There we go. Juliet's eyes brighten. Excellent notion. Most excellent. She suddenly frowns, but he knows my handwriting. Would thou write some for me? Not my sort of thing. I can find you some, though. Oh, wouldst thou? Excellent. When thou dost find them, find some. Please give it to my love, Montague. May be found within the Civic Fest Hall. As for the letters, please try Scofflaw Pen. He runs a print shop in the lower ward. I thank thee. Of course.
Updated my journal.
Farewell.
I'm gone.
Alright, let's talk to Nenny. Well met, good sir. I'm Nenny. And how are you this fine day? Oh, we've met before. Nenny giggles and smiles gleefully at you. I'm sorry. I knew you looked familiar, though. Okay, I'm trying to find Vivian's scent. Do you know where it might be? Nenny frowns deeply. What? Oh, I just can't. I can't say anything bad about anyone. I'm just no good at it. It's not bad to point out a thief, Nenny. Well, I don't know if she's a thief. Nenny bites her lip and looks at you with pleading eyes, as if she just wishes you'd leave the topic alone. Look, why don't you try and say something not nice about her? Oh, alright. Nenny puts her hands on her hips and frowns deeply, almost exaggeratedly. You resist the temptation to laugh. Oh, I dislike her very, very much. She pauses for a moment, then looks at you out of the corner of her eye as if gauging your reaction. Was that convincing? No, not really. Nenny frowns. I know I wouldn't be any good at this. She looks up at you depressed. Do you know how hard it is to say bad things about someone? It feels so wrong. Why don't you practice on me, Nenny? I suppose I could try. She looks dubious. You big, mean, nasty brute. She puts her hands on her hips. Meanie? She looks at you. How was that? Put more accent on brute. You mean big, nasty brute? Better. Now hit me. Nenny clamps her hands over her mouth, looking shocked. Oh, I couldn't. I mustn't. I don't know where this is going, by the way. She blinks. How does one hit somebody anyway? Go ahead. Do it lightly if you have to. Remember, I'm a mean, nasty brute. I deserve it. Nenny slaps you. You barely feel it. She still looks shocked and frightened. She hurt you. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that hurt? Tell me you're okay. Don't break character, Nenny. Come on, show me what you've got. You can say something bad. Just let it all out. Oh. Nenny draws her tiny frame to its full height, and balls her hands into fists, puts them on her hips, and scrunches up her face in a cute scowl. Oh, darned be you. You deserve that for all the indignities you put me through. Going out late at night, her eyes roam up and down your body. Getting into fights and getting all scarred up. What are the kids going to think, kids? What? Nenny's fury rises another notch. Have you forgotten our children? Are you so sodden with drink that you can't even remember that we have children? Nenny throws up her hands in exasperation. You're hopeless, clueless, and a lot of other lesses I won't mention right now. Calm down. Time to let go of the anger. Then he sighs tiredly. Whew, that was easier than I thought. Yeah, no kidding. And I'm sure I'll do better next time. I'm so excited to have learned something new. Thank you. Alright, I'm trying to find Vivian's scent. Do you know where it might be?
Updated my journal.
Maybe. I saw that mean Marissa sneaking out of Vivian's room one night. I'm not saying she took it, but I know Marissa's not a very nice person, and that sure sounds suspicious, huh? I'd go ask her about it. Then he nods at you. Okay, and I'm trying to find Marissa's Crimson Veil. Do you know where it might be?
Updated my journal.
I'll bet I do. I saw that nasty Kamaxi adder tongue sneaking out of Marissa's room one night. They both meanies, you know, but Kamaxi's really awful. Anyway, I talked to her first. I can't ask her about the other thing, or was it never an option? I can't click on her now. Oh no. Oh, whatever. We have a lead. Let's go talk to Marissa about it. Marissa's cold, cruel voice hisses out from out of the darkness. It returns. You have a reason for coming this time, I trust? Or just more of your pointless questions? More pointless questions, Marissa. Ask. I was told you were seen sneaking away from Vivian's chamber recently. Is that connected with her missing scent somehow?
Updated my journal.
Marissa says nothing, though an angry hissing issues from the darkness around her. I'm missing an S there. Yes, I've been known to creep into Vivian's chamber for some of her perfumes, though I doubt you'll meet another here who hasn't. If you're implying that I've got her personal scent, well, feel free to sniff around. You'll not find it on me or in my chambers, I assure you. Perhaps whoever took my Crimson Veil took Vivian's scent as well. Oh, I spoke to 9 prostitutes altogether. Do you know who or where the 10th student is? I spend much time here in my chambers, but I think that even I would know had a 10th student arrived. There is none currently.
Alright.
I wonder if I'm the 10th student. Hi, Kamaxi. Oh, it's you again. Just can't get enough of me, huh? I had some questions. She looks annoyed. Fine, whatever, ask. I'm trying to find Marissa's Crimson Veil. Do you know where it might be? Oh, here we go. I was told you were seen sneaking away from Marissa's chamber recently. Is that connected with her missing veil somehow? Kamaxi flies into a rage. Who told you that? She suddenly falls silent, glaring at you through narrowed eyes. If I was there, Burke, I didn't take your filthy veil. Search my room if you'd like. I'd catch you sniffing at my breeches, though. I'll see to it that you're never allowed in here again. Why would anyone ever sniff at your breeches?
Updated my journal.
Beats me. Someone's next more than a few pair of them, though. My favorite leather brassiere, too, with the iron studs. She hums angrily. Okay, so there's more stuff missing. I've spoken to 9 prostitutes altogether. Do you know who or where the 10th student is? Yes, she's hiding under my bed. Go ahead, get down on all fours and check. I shan't kick you, really. Get down on your hands and knees and check. As you look beneath Kamaxi's bed, nothing's there, of course. You become aware of her standing behind you. I couldn't. It's just too easy. Get up, you poor stupid debtor. There is no 10th student. Oh, she's smacking this guy around. Thank you, mistress. Alright, that's taking a little too far. Let's ask Nenny about the where's she at? I want to ask Nenny about the missing undergarments. Oh, hey, Ignis.
I'm gone.
But I don't see her now? Oh, there she is. Alright, already talked about that. Kamaxi said someone's been taking things from her room, too. Have you seen anything odd?
Updated my journal.
Nene's eyes suddenly go wide. Oh, that's right. You know, once I saw a man sneaking out of Kamaxi's room while she was out talking to a patron. I watched the front doors all that day, but he never ever left. Isn't that odd? I don't think he could have made it out a window. And so I never figured out where he went. And then I totally forgot about it. Weird, huh? Alright, I know who it is.
All right.
It's this guy. It's the wizard disguised as an armoire. He's a pervert. He's a pervy wizard. This is Louis, the talking armoire. I had some questions, Louis. Yes? Nenny told me she saw a man leaving Kamaxi Addertongue's room. I think that was you, Louis. You think? Think? How could you be so alarmingly rude, so ludicrously presumptuous, as to spout forth such an accusation without being absolutely certain of your charges? How dare you? Impertinent, brassy cur. Why, I ought to... As Louis rails and curses, his drawers open and close. You notice a small bundle of crimson cloth tucked alongside some clothes. The repeated opening and closing the armoire drawers make it difficult to grab, however. Wait for an opportunity to grab it. You see him poised at the edge of the armoire. It keeps gabbing on and on, but it never seems to stay open long enough for you to grab the cloth. Try and snap your hand in while the drawer is open. You simply cannot move your hand quickly enough to snatch the crimson cloth from within Louis. The most you could accomplish would be getting your fingers crushed. Give me that crimson cloth. Shan't, won't, never. Pull open the drawer to get the cloth. The drawer remains closed. Hear it puffing and wheezing from the exertion. Go away, you barbarian. Give me that crimson cloth, Louis. Alright. Can I just keep pulling it? Alright, beg and whine for the cloth. Oh, please stop that rubbish. It is quite tiresome and transcends all known meanings of the word boredom. Beg and whine some more. Stop. How tediously dull. You're making me quite drowsy. Keep on begging and whining. The armoire yawns, exposing the crimson cloth where it rests snugly beside some undergarments. You dart your hand in and seize it before the drawer can close itself. Tucking it away, you notice that it's perfumed with a light, exotic, and most pleasant fragrance. Darn it, you rogue, blackguard, scoundrel. You give that back this instant. That's not yours. That's an exceedingly personal garment that belongs to a lady of this establishment, and they would not appreciate you fondling their private things. Oh, but it's alright for you, you wooden pervert? I'm not doing anything so criminal and malicious as you are. I'm merely soaking in sensations necessary to my growth as an individual. Yeah, that sounds like how a pervert would, defend himself. Yes, yes. Farewell, Louis. Or
All right.
Louis. I think it's Louis. Alright, so I have everything back, right? Let's go give back Kamaxi her undergarments. Or maybe I can't?
Done.
Who was the one... Because the scent is on the cloth. I'm assuming What's-Her-Face will have to remove the scent first, right? It may not matter, but I would like to... It's not Echo. Was it Vivian? I think it was Vivian. Vivian greets you with a polite half-smile. Had you any luck in finding my scent, perchance? Yes, I found it in this red veil.
Updated my journal.
Vivian's eyes light up. Oh, how simply wonderful. She takes the veil from your hands, mutters a few words over it, and returns it to you. She shakes out her crimson hair, and in moments you're surrounded by the most intensely exotic and arousing scent you have ever had the pleasure of smelling. That smells great. It does it not? She smiles at you. As you have done a favor for me, so I wish to perform one for you. Stand close to me, scarred one. Approach her. You step closer to Vivian. She takes your hand and, turning it over, takes a single cautious sniff of your wrist. Phew. She wrinkles her nose. Vinegar or embalming fluid? Here, I'll remove this smell from you. She mutters a few strange syllables, and a light tingling sensation spreads over your skin. In moments, your chemical reek lessens substantially. There, how's that? People should be less eager to avoid conversation with you now. Thanks, Vivian. Farewell. And charisma up by 1. Hot dog.
I'm gone.
Beautiful. Wait, now she's the one I couldn't talk to after discussing, Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? Okay, let's ask her about the student. I've spoken to 9 students altogether. Do you know who or where the 10th student is? I'd probably ask Frall-From-Grace about it. 10th student. She studies you as if not sure if she heard you correctly. Perhaps you've taken one too many blows to the head, or perhaps one of the girls has been playing games with you. There is no 10th prostitute that I know of. Alright, farewell then.
I'm gone.
Let's return this to Marissa, then we'll talk to Frall-From-Grace. Marissa's cold, cruel voice hisses from out of the darkness. It returns. We've already said that. Actually, I brought your crimson veil. And would you please hand it over? Of course. Here you are.
Updated my journal.
You hold the crimson veil before you. The feeler take it from your hands. Ah, yes, much better. 2 shining points of red light appear before you as she opens her eyes. Say, so that's what you look like. Perhaps I would have been better off with my eyes shut. Watch that forked tongue of yours, Marissa. Do not even get me started. I have a question. Yeah, maybe she'll tell me about the 9th prostitute. No, wait, no, we already asked her. Never mind. Let's
All right.
let's talk to the Modrons, then we'll talk to Frall-From-Grace. Hello, Modrons. This strange cubic creature seems to be as much machine as it is organic. As you approach the thing, it silently stares at you with wide, unblinking eyes. Its face hasn't the slightest trace of emotion on it. Come on, Chief. We're in the building full of some of the sexiest chits this side of the multiverse. Are you stopping to talk to Modrons? What can you tell me about them, Mort? Mort makes a noise of utter disgust. What's there to say? Annoying little clockwork pests. They're always working to impose law and order upon the multiverse. Not good, mind you. Just law. Let's just forget about them and go chat up the ladies, huh? My apologies, Mort. But I'm talking to the Modron. Mort sighs loudly. Fine, whatever. But don't say I didn't warn you. We probably won't get anywhere with them, though, Chief. They're an odd lot to talk to. Greetings. Its voice has a metallic, reverberating quality to it, as if it were more a sound played out on some warped musical instrument than true speech. Your greeting is returned. There's a soft click as the creature blinks. An awkward silence hangs in the air between the two of you. I had some questions. Identify yourself to us. I'm not sure who I am. We would know why this is so. I don't know myself. I just can't remember. All things should have a name. All things should be identified. We find your answer unsatisfactory, but it shall have to suffice for the present. The creature pauses and blinks at you. We would identify ourselves as Modrons, Quadrone type, winged variant, to the subject. I had some questions now. The subject is free to ask a question. Do you know what this little cube-like toy creature is? The Modron, its appearance identical in every aspect but size to the object in your hands, blinks once, twice, then speaks. The object is a portal cube. The user is to position the appendages of the portal cube in such a manner that it will activate. Once activated, the portal cube will transport the user to whatever destination it was tuned to during its creation. Where will this cube take its user? We do not have that information. Over 97% of all portal cubes function in a slightly different manner. We were not present at the construction of the subject's portal cube, nor have we ever been given instructions as to its use. Should the subject desire to utilize the portal cube, they will have to determine its method of operation and destination via experimentation. Okay. So that answers the other question as well. We have to experiment because they don't know the order. Alright, and what are you doing here? Our purpose here is observation. And what are you observing? We're observing one of the establishment staff. Who are you observing? As previously stated, we're observing one of the establishment staff. Yes, but who exactly are you observing? The object of our scrutiny is named Elora. And why are you watching her? We have not been informed as to the specific purpose or purposes which resulted in our being given our present task. The command of our superior, Panadrone, is sufficient reason to perform said task. As such, the purpose or purposes are irrelevant to us. Okay. What can you tell me about this place? A building located in the section of Sigil commonly known as the Clerk's Ward. We cannot give exact coordinates as the surface of Sigil changes at intervals. We have not determined as of the present. The building itself is known as the Brothel of Slaking Intellectual Lusts. It serves as what may be broadly defined as a language school. The students of the school are primarily females who intend to, at some point we have not determined, and which varies from student to student, become a factotum of the Society of Sensation. The Society of Sensation will provide a brief summary as to what the Society of Sensation oh my goodness. We will provide a brief summary as to what the Society of Sensation is defined as. A faction whose core belief is that with experience comes true understanding of the multiverse and its secrets. What can you tell me about the Silent Prostitute? The subject referred to is named Echo. We have gathered no more information regarding said subject. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? We know nothing of any being or object possessing such an appellation. I've spoken to 9 prostitutes altogether. Do you know who or where the 10th student is? We do not. We have not as yet made an effort to catalog each of the inhabitants of this building. We do not intend to do so at any time. Okay, cool. So...
Done.
That's a big old waste of time. Why Frall-From-Grace? Let's talk.
How may I help you?
Frall-From-Grace turns as you approach and smiles slightly. How may I help you? I had some other questions I wanted to ask you. I spoke to 9 of the students, as you asked, but I could not find the 10th. And you could not find the 10th student. How curious. Yeah, oh look at that! I'm thinking the 10th student is me, in which case I've spoken to all of them. She nods. Very well. And your thoughts? You should get rid of all the Almars in the brothel and use them as firewood. I kinda... Yeah, let's say that. Ah, Frall-From-Grace laughs softly and her eyes sparkle. A practical thought indeed. Very well, I will travel with you, if you still desire my company. What? Okay, well, alright, I do.
The flames grow within me.
Oh, Mistress High and Mighty will be joining us. What do we need her for?
You couldn't possibly understand.
I wish she would fall from great height. I might even bump her off myself.
It's hard to understand what she's saying, but Anna is not happy with Frall-From-Grace. By the way.
Hey, what's eating you, Chief?
Let's talk to Anna. Anna looks at you as you address her, and she frowns. I? What do you want now? Are you all right? Anna just glares at you. I want to ask you some questions. Why don't you ask the stuck-up-abyss your questions then? Anna's eyes narrow to slits. Why are you even traveling with her? We don't need her. We don't. Well, I don't want to ask Frall-From-Grace to leave. Anna, please. You're very important to me, and I need your help. Oh, and why is that then? This should be rich, it should. You pity me? Is that it? You think I slow you down? Go ahead, say it. I don't pity you, and you don't slow me down. You're quick, you're skilled, and I really need all the help I can get. Anna frowns, her tail flicking back and forth. Well, no, I'll gut her if she starts sizing us up for a feast, I will. She glares at you. Don't get any ideas I'm staying because you want me to. I'm just helping you out, I am. Okay, Alright, let's talk to... Oh, Agnes leveled up. Wow, 6 HP was gained.
Yes.
Alright, so Frall-From-Grace is the only priest available in the
How may I
game.
help?
And she doesn't memorize spells, she just has them all available if I'm not mistaken. And here they are. So Blessing is Bless, Cure Light Wounds, obviously protection from evil. Aid, Cure Moderate Wounds, Spiritual Hammer. Alright, so it's like Acts of Torment. Call Lightning, Prayer, and Cure Serious Wounds. There you go. Those are all pretty self-explanatory. They don't have any funny names. They're just cleric spells. What level is she? Oops. Level 7. So she's a little behind. Well, yeah, she's a little behind the curve. But that's fine. Alright, let's talk to her.
Yes.
Can you tell me about the Tanari? The Tanari are fiends. Some call them demons. They have embraced evil for chaos's sake. They dwell upon the poisoned plains of the abyss where they feed on their own rage and lash out across the multiverse, despoiling all they touch. They forever seek to tempt others into committing crimes of passion and vice. And you are a Tanari? That is correct. I'm a lesser Tanari, more specifically a succubus. She gives a soft sigh. I'm afraid we're a little too common in the lower planes and elsewhere for our own good. Most of my race spend their time seducing mortals with various pleasures of the flesh. And you? We've already talked about this in the last episode. How did you come by the name Frall-From-Grace? The meaning of names is a complicated subject. There's much to be said, and a great deal that is better left unsaid. Is Frall-From-Grace your real name? Perhaps. She smiles slightly. Perhaps not. There are names which are given and names which are earned. Who is to say which is the real one? I think the name which is earned carries the greater weight. That may be so. Why do you think that? Because a name that is earned is not arbitrary. A name that is earned tells of what you've accomplished. Grace nods. Your point is well taken. So why are you called Frall-From-Grace? Would it matter? She smiles. It is an earned name. What matters to me, I'd like to know how you came to be called that. I have fallen for my people. Some would say risen for my people, perhaps, but fall feels more right to me. She looks at you questioningly. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. After all, fall carries with it an underlying sense of loss. Frall-From-Grace is silent for a moment, then nods thoughtfully. Yes, perhaps that is why it felt as it did. I came to terms with the loss long ago, but the name has remained. Are you sure you've come to terms with it? Frall-From-Grace meets your gaze, and you are once again struck by the brilliant shade of blue of her eyes. It is turbulent, like the ocean before a storm. I had thought so. Yet in speaking to you, you have caused me to realize some things. She smiles. You have my thanks. Well, if you want to talk about it, let me know, alright? She nods. You're most kind. I will do so.
Yes.
Can you tell me what you know about the Sensates? Alright, we already talked to her about that. Can you teach me anything of the art, Grace? Frall-From-Grace shakes her head slightly. No, I do not believe so. The art and the disciplines I practice are different. How do you mean? My powers as you see them stem from my faith, not from manipulating energies as the art does. The art is a mechanism by which the power of the multiverse may be harnessed, through gestures, rituals, and devices. My powers come to me through a different means. My faith and the nature of my belief allow some of the multiverse to reveal itself to me. The nature of your belief? What do you believe in? I believe in experience. I believe a person may be changed for the better, the more the multiverse they are allowed to perceive, and the more the multiverse is allowed to perceive them. My belief in the nature of experience allows me to... She pauses for a moment, thinking. I suppose the best explanation is that my faith allows me to see things differently. When you see the multiverse in such a way, you learn how to change things. Mending wounds, seeing a person's heart, and so on, just by willing them to happen. But those changes you make seem a lot like spells. How do you learn to do those things? Do you have a spell book? No. My spells, as you call them, they come to me after I have rested and centered myself. When I sleep and awaken, I can focus myself once more. The amount of faith required to change the multiverse around me can be quite taxing on the psyche, I'm afraid. Just being able to see how to change things is not enough. You must have the strength to make the change happen, and last.
Yes?
Do you ever use weapons? I'll talk about the companions in a second. No, there is seldom the need, and I find that I cannot bear the touch of cold iron, or even steel for long periods of time. In any event, I have a number of natural defenses that tend to discourage attackers. Such as...
Updated my journal.
The kiss of a succubus is lethal to mortals, though they rarely realize the danger until their death is almost upon them. Frall-From-Grace size. I can resort to it when the need arises. Okay. Why did you set up in the brothel? I established the brothel to give those lustful fevers that strike the mind more avenues of expression, rather than the simply carnal. Much pleasure can be had in conversation and engaging the verbal arts with others. And why did you establish such a place? Part of the answer to your question requires that you know that I am a member of the Society of Sensation. Our faction believes that one should experience as much of the multiverse as possible. And that is why you established the brothel. The brothel is intended to slake the lusts of even the hardened intellectual. It is designed to stimulate the mind, to heighten one's awareness of themselves and others, to create new ways of experiencing another person. It is for those who seek something more than the shallow physical pleasures that fill the hive and the lower wards. Oh, we've already talked about all that, never mind. Can I read your diary? No. Please? Grace gives a slight smile. A lady must have her secrets. You said you had a tale that you... sorry. You said you had a tale you wouldn't share with her. That is correct. Eves needs no more tales adding to her misery, and my tale would not serve her search for truth. Would you tell me? It is a long tale, and not as interesting as some would make it out to be. She sighs. It is intertwined in other tales of war and slavery. It is not a pleasant tale. I would still hear it. Very well. Now my past is not a long one, and at least by Tanari standards. Or at least by Tanari standards. I do not know if you're familiar with the Tanari, but we are a race of the Abyss, a staggered series of planes filled with chaos and evil hearts. Go on. I am a Tanari, a fiend, a succubus. I grew up upon the first plane of the Abyss. My mother was a succubus herself, as I'm sure you're aware. Succubi tempt mortals to bring their souls to the Abyss. My mother was amongst the finest, seducing countless mortal men to their eternal damnation. She now... I almost said darnation. She now dwells in the Abyss, selling her children into slavery. Your mother sold you into slavery? Yes, she sold me to the Betezu, the blood enemies of the Tanari. I think she rather expected that they would kill me. Despite her knowledge of other subjects, she knows little of their culture and the delight they take in tormenting others. How did you escape? The Betezu are a proud species. The thought that Tanari could best them at anything was intolerable to them. So I challenged one of the proudest of the pit fiends to a contest of improvisation, and my Tanari nature afforded me one advantage. You see, the Tanari are creatures of chaos, wild and unpredictable. The Betezu are more cunning, with orderly hearts. They understand improvisation, but they are not its finest practitioners, and thus I won my freedom. My path brought me to Sigil. Can you tell me what you know of Ravel again? Oh yeah, we've already talked to him about that as well.
Yes.
I want to talk about our companions. Who in particular did you wish to discuss? Me, actually. What did you wish to discuss? I would like to know your thoughts on my situation. I think this episode's going to be a lot longer than usual, because I want to finish talking to her before I call it an episode, so... do you know anything else that might prove helpful? Well, shadows keep coming to kill me. I have a feeling they're following me, but I don't know why. Shadows. Frall-From-Grace is silent for a moment. Shadows are shades of the dead. They do not tend to hunt, they tend to lie in wait for victims. Curious. Well, I think there's someone out to murder me. So much so I built a tomb to trap... Oh my goodness. Well, I think there's someone out to murder me. So much so I built a tomb trap to try and kill them. According to an inscription in the tomb, he's been coming after me for, well, as long as my incarnations can remember, it seems. Then, whoever the killer is, he's lived a very long time to have pursued you so long. She taps her chin for a moment. Could the killer be immortal as well? Possibly. I'd like to know any other thoughts you have on my situation. Other questions? Companions? You. Me? Really? She thinks about it for a moment, then nods. Very well. If there is anything you're curious about, please ask. Actually, hold on.
Yes.
Oops.
Yes.
Go back. No. Alright. Oh yeah, I'm gonna ask about me again. Do you have any idea who or what I might be? Grace frowns in thought. I freely admit that you are something of an enigma. She smiles. But I find such mysteries intriguing. Shall we attempt to puzzle out your situation? Yes. First, while it is possible that you're a tiefling or somewhere a crossbreed, my guess is that you're a human, or were at one time. Alright, go on. Your appearance is approximately a male in his early 30s. The stitching and scar tissue make an exact determination difficult. Yeah, tell me about it. Go on. The key to your past is your memory, and it seems that certain locations, events, and people trigger seemingly forgotten memories. It seemed to be in your best interest to visit many locations as possible, or as many locations as possible, and speak to as many others as possible. In short, experience your universe as much as possible. A sensate's advice, huh? Frall-From-Grace gives a bemused smile. I would not advise it if I did not practice it, and if you do not already know it to be true.
Yes.
Okay, and companions again, and then you. I'd like to know your thoughts on my situation.
Yes.
Alright, we've already talked about that. Alright, let's talk about Mort. Mort is most peculiar. I've seen a great deal in my life, but nothing quite like him. He behaves somewhat like a Mimir. Granted, there's no denying he is knowledgeable, but he has a certain... She sniffs the air and wrinkles her nose. Batorian smell about him. Batorian smell? Yes, but he's not a Betezu, at least of any variety I've encountered. The smell alone, however, makes me treat this skull with caution. What do you mean when you say Betezu and Batorian? My apologies. Baator is one of the Outer Planes, the home of a race of fiends called the Betezu. They are evil creatures, yet they are organized and lawful in many of their behaviors. Some might call them devils. They believe in contracts and hierarchy. In many ways, they are like evil bureaucrats. And what were you saying about a Batorian smell? Yes, but he's not Betezu. Okay. What were you saying about a Mimir before? Mimirs are encyclopedias of knowledge. The owner may ask them questions, and if they possess the knowledge, they will inform the user of what it knows. And Mort is a Mimir? I don't believe so. Mort lacks the silvery metal that Mimirs customarily have, and he seems to have an attitude of his own. Such qualities are not present in conventional Mimirs. Grace shrugs slightly. He may be one, but he's unlike any I've encountered. Yeah, I don't believe Mort is a Mimir either. Perhaps there is some test to verify his authenticity, but I would not do one if you value him as a friend. If you do, then you must accept what he has told you. Okay. Let's talk about Anna. She is strong and capable, and she is quite passionate. I almost wish I had met her long ago and asked her to come to the brothel. Perhaps things might have been different. Grace studies you for a moment. What do you think of her? Well, I think I could fall in love with her. There we go. You might wish to tell her so. I don't know. I seem to have this wreckage wherever I go, with Dayanara especially, and the lives of others I've touched. It might be best to leave well enough alone. If I do, it will be my choice. Very well. Wait, can I do... Hold on, let me quick save. I'm going to talk to her again. We're not done.
Yes.
Not yet. I think she doesn't care for you very much. There we go. I would agree. Grace smiles. But I shall not let you dodge my question so easily. What do you think of her? Alright, I already said this. Now I can still... Okay. Alright, let's talk about Dakan. Dakan? Grace raises an eyebrow. He's most uncommon for a Githzerai. Really? In what way? Well, he obeys you. That alone would mark him as a pariah among his people. His entire race were once slaves, and even the reminder of servitude to them is distasteful. Yes. He made a promise to me long ago to serve me until I died. It was after I saved his life, and he did not know that I was immortal. Truly, as a Githzerai, he must be suffering indeed. How did you save his life? After he fell from Shrak Talor, one of my previous incarnations came to him, as he lay dying in limbo and gave him the Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon, that religious text he has. May I ask, do you know why the incarnation saved his life? I think I saved him because of his Karak blade. Curious. Frall-From-Grace is silent for a moment. You know, a blade that reflects the will of the wielder is a potent weapon, if the wielder knows himself. Perhaps that's why I saved him then. Is there anything else you can tell me about Dakan? Dakan approaches everything in an orderly fashion. Again, most curious for a Githzerai. They tend to be unpredictable. They follow their impulses rather than a plan. Anything else? He seems the most pious Githzerai and a steadfast ally. That he is. Alright, let's talk about Ignis. You'd be wise to travel with him no longer. He is insane, and he has proven capable of great acts of destruction. As I understand it, he was transformed into a conduit to the elemental plane of fire. Such a transformation would have killed many mortals. Not only did he survive such a trial, but he thrived. He possesses tremendous power. Should he be forced into a confrontation, I would fear for the chances of anyone who stood against him. I pray it does not come to that. If Ignis is so powerful, why doesn't he just attack everything he sees? Why does he even travel with us? I do not know, but I do not think it is because he likes our company. In fact, I think he considers all of us irrelevant except for you. Me? Why me? Again, I do not know. Still, haven't you noticed that when you asked him to do something, he obeys? Without question. Were I to make the same request, the last thing I would receive would be his compliance. That is interesting. Alright, so in the next episode we will talk, I think it's to Anna and then Mortigan, and then we're going to go downstairs. There are all those little pedestal things downstairs to interact with. We'll do that next. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next episode.